Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Mental Health Awareness, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Sorry for the husky voice, got a summer cold. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My wonderful guest today is Holly Miller. We're going to be talking about what she had to do. I'm going to read it rather than say it. I do what I do because I know firsthand the devastating impact of guilt, shame, and fear. At 14, I faced a traumatic experience when I was kidnapped and raped alongside my friend Julie. Therapy helped me recover, but Julie never confronted her trauma, which led to a lifetime of substance abuse, abusive relationships, ultimately resulting in her tragic passing at 37 years later. Julie's death became a turning point, igniting my passion to help others navigate the whole healing journeys. My work benefits women who have endured sexual abuse, and I'm dedicated to providing guidance, tools, support needed for them to reclaim their lives, heal from their past, ultimately thrive. By sharing these skills and insights I gained through the personal experience and extensive learning, I help women move beyond the trauma towards a brighter, empowered future, living their true selves. So we're going to be talking about how she does this. She serves as a social worker, assisting boys and behavioral issues, residential treatment center. After 8 years as a paralegal, she transitioned into entrepreneurship, becoming natural wellness coach. And for 11 years, she's guided others in using essential oils, natural supplements, and alternative medication. It was a pivotal moment for her that put her on her redirection, and she's now a certified reset specialist. Reset, redirect. There are those things that come to us in life that, however traumatic they are that choice. Are you going to become the trauma and what has just happened to you, the victim? Or are you going to empower yourself into becoming not just the survivor, but the thriver? And very often, people get stuck in that victimized mode because they don't know how to get out of it. They don't have the skills or the tools or the willpower. And for some people, it is what propels them to look for those skills, to look for those tools that are going to help them not become the victim anymore. That was your choice. And the other was Julie's choice. And I imagine it was pretty hard to watch her go through this, knowing you both went through the same thing, but she chose to stay in the victim mode. And however much you try to help her, we can't help people until they're willing to help themselves. Welcome to the show, Holly.
Wow, that's a lot. I'm like, whose life is this?
There's your choice right there. You choose humor. You choose to look light. And very often when people face trauma, they get so weighed down by the dark, the heaviness of it, and they don't know how to lighten up. And really, we do have to kind of look to the light, the lightness and the light in order to get out of it, don't we?
It's what you said the key word. You said choice.
Mm.
And that is where I think another word you used was empowerment. If you can choose to be who you are at your core and understand the difference between what other people
Mhm.
give to you and what is actually yours,
Mm. Mhm.
that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, choice. We did debate whether this should go under choose positive living or mental health awareness because it really does fit into both. But until you deal with the mental trauma, you don't know how to make the choice. The choice comes from I don't want to be in this space anymore. I don't want to feel powerless. I want to take back my life and I want to choose how I live it. But you don't automatically come into choice because you're traumatized, right?
Yeah, you don't think you have a choice.
Mm, mm-hmm,
You think, oh, why did this happen to me? You ask a bunch of questions internally, at least I did. Why would God do this?
mm-hmm.
Is there a God?
Yeah.
You go through all of the questions. Oh, why me? Oh, woe is me. My life was already shit to begin with. Why am I being punished?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What did I
and
do wrong? How
yeah,
did I invite it? Mm-hmm,
what was my responsibility? And the truth is, a lot of that was my
mm-hmm,
responsibility. I did choose the actions that led me to being kidnapped.
mm-hmm,
Now, was it the choice that led me to be raped? Absolutely not. However, there are steps and there were things that I am accountable for that I could have prevented.
mm-hmm,
The good news is, I believe that there are either lessons or reasons for everything. And the reason for this, and the reason I know that this actually happened to me specifically, is because during the trial, he was, um, well, there were 8 women that came forward during my trial
mm-hmm.
that were also victimized by him and had been raped as well. They never told anybody. They kept it to themselves. And I look at that and I go, I literally was able to stop a serial rapist.
Yes.
He
Courage
off
number one.
Yeah,
Courage number one.
and he had been abusing his 5-year-old daughter,
Oh, God.
and his wife was pregnant
Ah, shoot.
with another girl. So I I feel like I was the one that needed to be put in that space
Mm-hmm,
because God knew that I
mm,
wouldn't put up with it,
right.
that I would not just forget about it and let it go. If it had been just Julie, he would have gotten away with it again.
Yes. And there goes, that choice of why do so many women not talk up? Well, that is very much to do with the system. The system immediately victimizes you again. Where's your proof? Did you ask for it? The way you were dressed? What did you say? They always make the victim as if they invited it, right? And they persecute the victim before they even have a chance to get to court, to get to anything. And I understand why women don't come forward because of that. But when women come forward together in a strength, generally led by one person who says, I'm not going to put up with this. They found their strength, their courage, their ability, they found their voice. Then it becomes that chorus. And you've empowered them to have their voice, to bring him to justice. But more than that, take back their lives.
Yeah, I was lucky though. I was not treated that way by the justice system.
Mm,
How the justice system is perhaps flawed in my opinion, where it can be more traumatic and devastating, are all of the questions that they have to ask you. They have to go back and you have to relive those
yeah,
moments. I was never treated by the police or by the attorney on my side, so the DA, I wasn't the detectives, the social workers, everybody that was involved on the legal side of getting the prosecution, they were amazing.
Hmm.
They were really good. It just is very difficult when you have to go back to the scene of the crime, you
Yes.
have to relive the traces, you have to collect evidence,
Hmm.
you have to go to the doctor and have an exam, you have to go get a pregnancy test done. I mean, these things are in and of itself
Yeah.
traumatic.
Yeah.
But the justice system has to be the way that it is. I think that the reason women don't come forward is the shame,
Hmm.
the guilt, and the
Hmm.
fear. Those are the three number one things that I have felt myself.
Hmm.
And I do understand it. Um, that's that to me is why women do not come forward.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the fear is what if they get off and they come after me again, right? And because so often we see a very good lawyer in defense and they get off. And so the fear is like, what happens to me if they get free? And so you can understand that shame and guilt, because who wants to stand there and say, this happened to me? Because people will automatically go, but why did you let it? And it's like, do we have to go around in life constantly on the defense that what we say, how we enjoy life, the exuberance of life, that we are laying ourselves open to somebody's interpretation that this is a sexual invitation? And, this is what I found in my day, because no, I didn't tell anybody, not for years. Um, but that's back in the 70s, believe me, totally different scene, I think, nowadays. But you must have done something, tone yourself down, stop being so happy, stop being so exuberant. It's an invitation. And it's like, but why? Why is my joy of life an invitation for them? I call it the difference between sensuality, living on all of your senses, and sexuality. And people looking at you living in your sensuality of life and deciding it's a sexual invitation. But that is the onus on them. Why are we downplaying ourselves? Because of their idiosyncrasies of looking at it that is an invitation.
Well, and at the core, we are sexual
Yes.
human beings. We are sensual.
Hmm.
That is who every human being on the
Hmm.
planet of the earth are. So it's okay to embrace your
Hmm.
sexuality and embrace the sensuality
Hmm.
of it. It's when you get to the core of who you are, who you truly, truly are, nothing else matters.
Hmm.
Nothing.
No, because you're at home with self. A lot of everything we do is living the outside life, the expectation life, the dictation life. You've got to be, you should be, this is what we want of you. And it robs us of who we are. And when
Mm-hmm.
you go into who you are, the very core of your very being, not everyone will see it or appreciate it, but you know who you are and you're enough. And if it's a smaller circle around you that truly see you, so be it. You do not need the bigger circle anymore. Nothing to prove.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, all of these alternative or not alternative,
Mm,
outstanding influences just coming in and telling us who we are, what we're supposed to be. You're a woman, you're supposed to be beautiful, but
mhm.
not too beautiful.
Yes.
You're supposed to be, skinny, but not too skinny. You're supposed to, be at home and raise the children, but you're also supposed to go out and, get make some money to bring it
Mm,
into the house.
mhm.
You're supposed to, clean up the house. But then also, you don't want your house too clean. You don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. Um, I mean, all of these
Yeah.
outside influences just
Ah,
coming in and bombarding you with
yeah.
who you're supposed to be and what you're
Mm,
supposed to do and how you're supposed to think. And I just say, bullshit.
exactly. Amen, sister. Exactly.
Yeah. Hmm.
Get over yourself. If you're so tied up in this expectation of what, you know, um, you think society wants for you, not only you're going to become a prisoner. Being a prisoner, folks, please listen. It's not a fun place to be, right? Bending yourself into a pretzel to try and please this one and that one and live up to the expectation of this one and that one, all the time robbing yourself of yourself, right? And it's like, you're never going to please them. Never. You're never going to be enough for them because it's their outside that is looking for satisfaction, not their inside. And when you come from the inside and you meet somebody else that comes from the inside, we are enough. We see the essence of each other. We've got nothing to prove on the outside. So don't, please, persecute yourself because there's dishes in the sink. So what?
Yeah. Nobody really cares.
No.
Number
And
one.
if they do, you know, that's their problem.
Hmm. Yeah. When people do this and they
Mm.
point at you, most of the time that's simply a reflection of who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's them projecting onto you. And the thing is, we take in all of this stuff and we don't even know it's not even
Right.
ours to take in,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know?
Oh, yeah. My God, the weight that we're carrying of this
Hmm.
expectation. Who can live up to that? And if somebody does live up and suddenly gets on this pedestal, then there's resentment. They're on a pedestal and they're going to chop that pedestal down. So there is no win-win on this trying to please people. It's a waste of life. It's a waste of time. How about pleasing yourself? Because then the essence of you and your own personal joy precedes you wherever you go.
Yeah. And what is joy?
Yeah.
I mean, what that looks like for me is going to
Mm,
look different for you. It's going to look different for my next door neighbor. It's going to look different for my best friend. So understanding, and I hate that buzzword authentic, but it's so
mm,
true. I mean, it's just a great word to help people really understand who they are at their core. And when you can get to that core, it's so incredibly beautiful.
it's home. It's who
Mhm.
you are, right? It's everything that you've been through and everything that you are is in that. It's the wisdom of who you are. It's when you're attached to that universal God, universe, spirit, gust, whatever you want to call it, you
Mhm.
download that wisdom and it becomes your compass. It resonates with your heart and truth and excitement, and it gives it to your spirit and action. And your mind finds the clarity that it needs when it needs it. It's like a deep breath. You just are. It just is. And you've got nothing to prove to anyone.
It's called freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Take
Freedom
me or
at your
leave me, I won't
core.
be offended. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna resonate with everybody,
No.
nor do I want to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody to be like me or aspire that because I am me
Mm-hmm.
and you are you. And the aspiration, if anything, should be who you truly are at your core.
Yes.
And that only you know. Nobody else knows that. I don't know that. I can't give that to
No.
somebody.
No.
I can help them see what belongs to them and what doesn't belong to them based on how their body responds, and then help teach them how to let that go. how to reset
Yes.
that program in their mind.
We're all programmed. It's
Yes.
in our DNA from ancestral programming, past life programming. It's all programming. From the moment we're born, it's programming. What we have to really look at, and we do this on our phones, we do it on our computer. This program is outdated. I'm going to update a new program. We don't do it for ourselves. We're running on a program that doesn't even belong to us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I mean, if you think about our brains like an algorithm,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
if you go on the internet and you search something up, it's going to give you all the lists of things that it already knows you're looking for
mm-hmm,
based on what you've already looked at in the past. It takes everything that you've ever done,
mm-hmm.
whether it's on Facebook or any kind of social media platform or any type of internet search. It's going to take that information, it throws it all together, it does this little crazy algorithmic thing, and then it pops out all of the top stuff that it knows you want to hear based
Mm.
on the programming that you have told it you
Yes.
want.
Yeah.
And it's our listening devices
Mm.
throughout our homes. It's all doing that. It's the same exact way
Mm-hmm.
with your mind. And the crazy part is our minds are our limbic system has the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, the amygdala, three major components of our limbic system. And our limbic system is what stores all of this data,
Yeah.
right? Our limbic system doesn't have the ability to decipher truth from false. It
Mm.
takes it all in as truth. So, all of the things that you have heard or people say, it takes in as truth. And it sits in your subconscious limbic system. Your limbic system has one job, and that's to keep you alive. That's it, to keep you alive.
Yeah.
And so when our prefrontal cortex finally gets developed in our mid 20s, that's our decision maker.
Mm.
So our prefrontal cortex connects to our limbic system to make the decisions. And so we're making decisions based on information that's not even true.
Right. Or current.
Or yeah, misleading in some
Yes.
way, and your conscious level might know that that's a bunch of crap, but your subconscious level is going to do everything it can to reinforce what it believes to keep you alive.
This is why we see people, abusers or addictive people, repeating generation after generation. You would think somebody that's been abused, who knows what it's like, would not do it to their own, but they do. And I think it is subconsciously doing it because there's no other program there to show them any other way. Right? So this is why we see this constant repetitiveness, repetitiveness, repetitiveness. We have to break that cycle. That's,
Mhm.
oh, sorry, the shameless plug, our Forgotten Children book. That's what it's all about. Anthology on the system that is wrong in supporting our children, in not looking at the gift and the essence of who they are and nurturing that into directing their beautiful gifts into something. We immediately put them in school, conform, sit still, do as you're told. You have no opinion unless I give it to you. And we diminish the very essence of them. And then we expect them to thrive as adults. Well, no, they're running on that old programming and they don't know how to make a decision for themselves because they've been told what they have to do and what they haven't got to do. And I think this is where it's all gone wrong. We need to look at our children and nurture who they are into being what they are meant to be and stop dictating what we think they should be because let's look at society. It ain't working.
Mhm.
It ain't working.
It sure isn't. It sure is not. It sure is not working. And I mean, we look at we look at our future generations, and what we want is for them to lead what works for them. It's how to get to that,
Mm,
and what can we do as an individual, as a mom, as a grandparent, as a teacher, as somebody in society, as a business owner, whatever that looks like. What responsibility are you willing
yeah,
to put forth to not add to the crumble? Because
yeah.
that's what I see. I see a crumble.
Mm,
And I know my grandson started kindergarten this year.
mm,
And in that space of nope, nope,
yeah.
that drawing, that doesn't look like a giraffe. That looks like an ant. But that's a giraffe. Nope, nope, that's an ant. And their imagination is being
Yes.
shattered.
Yes.
And it's just, it's devastating. But what are we willing to do
Mm-hmm.
to encourage
Yes.
that continued imagination so that we do have a future of leaders
Mm-hmm.
and not a future of followers?
Sheeple, barring along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
And we can't look to government or organizations to change. We are the change we seek. So as we change and we demand that change, their systems will change. It doesn't happen the other way around. So we need to look at how we bring our children up, how we go to the school system. No, the voice will be heard. Be participants in our children's growing up, not just hand them off and go, okay, that's, a few hours break. No, participants in our children's lives, and make sure that we keep that essence alive and that we support teachers in being able to see a different way, breaking that curriculum that is so wrong. I'm all for education, but the education must match the need of today and tomorrow, not be outdated information, and not rob the child of who they are. Because I think that so many people walk into situations that lead maybe to you being kidnapped, to Julie going a different way, is because they've been robbed of their self-worth along the line. And the journey to getting your worthiness back, it's a hard journey, and it's one that you really have to work at. And not everybody has got that strength or that ability to work at it. So
Well, not
let's not
everybody
rob it
knows
from
they
them.
have, yeah, not everybody knows they have a choice.
Yes,
Not
yes.
everybody believes that. You do, and you said get stuck in victim mode. I remember not long ago, I put up a post in a group that it's like a mastermind group
Hmm.
that come together, and I put up a post, and my question was, how do I attract women who are not stuck in victim mode but are ready? They're in survivor mode, they're going through the motions, they're doing okay,
Hmm.
but something is missing,
Yeah,
and they're not quite
there.
where they want to be.
Mm.
And I had a gentleman get on there and just nail me to the cross, telling me what a horrible human being I
Wow.
was.
Wow.
because I was because I said people stuck in victim mode and you
Mm.
don't know anything about PTSD, and how dare you?
Hmm.
It's obvious that you're in this for the wrong reason.
Mm.
You don't care. I mean, there was a bunch of really not kind things. And at first, when I first read it, I was like, dude, what? But then I started to think, okay, he has a story.
His trauma was speaking.
He
Mm.
has a big story.
Mhm.
And that was another, word that I
Mm.
don't like that much, but that was a trigger for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I triggered him by saying that. But what I said had nothing to do with any of it. It had to
Right.
do with him.
Mhm.
That was his response, or rather, reaction
Yeah.
to something where he couldn't see past
Mhm.
that. And I felt so much for him in that moment. None of what he said had any reflection on me.
It wasn't really directed at you. It was
I
directed
was
at
the
himself.
Yeah, I was just the person that he could kick at the
Mhm.
moment to help him reach his level that he needed at that second to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's where sometimes we have to take a step back, and instead of reacting, we can take a few deep breaths and respond. And
Mhm.
response is sometimes saying nothing.
Yeah. Mm.
Because if you can be present in the moment, then you can respond appropriately.
Yeah.
And you'll respond who you truly are, and it won't come across and perpetuate the cycle
Yes.
of anger and justification and who are you to tell me,
Mhm.
and what how does that benefit. And I think that that goes back to who we are and what we're willing to do to help society move forward,
Mhm.
and not keep repeating and downplaying and allowing the gaslighting
Yeah.
and all of that to continue. What are we willing to do?
Mhm. And it's like we get into comparison. My pain is more than yours. And it's our pain is as much as we can tolerate. And if we're really feeling in pain, it's beyond our tolerance, right? And we need help in order to release that pain. And when people do lash out, it's going back to what I said before, people who abuse or people who have been abused, end up very often either abusing themselves or other people. They can't get out of that mode. And a lot of people don't know how to get out of the trauma. They become the trauma and it's consumed them. And we want to pull that thread to help unravel it. But again, this is the thing about human beings. We have free will. When we decide to make the choice, I do not want to be like this anymore. I need help. I need someone to help pull that thread. Help me understand, help me not be in this space anymore. Then you can help people with your skills and your tools. They've got to apply, but you can help them. It's not a hand out, it's a hand up. But it has to be of their free will. And very often, I mean, we see this all the time when people have lashed out and done mass killings, it's because they faced rejection, they faced ridicule, they faced something that was traumatizing to them, and they can't deal with the trauma. It's too painful. And they feel lashing out and making other people feel their pain is going to release theirs. But it never does. It just piles more pain on top of them because somewhere along the line is the guilt. You've now hurt someone else. I don't want to hear from you, guilt. No, no, you've just gone to hurt someone else. And it just piles on and piles on and piles on. So part of the journey as a human being is to face the things that happen to us and change it happening for us to discover who we really are, what we're really capable of, how empowered and strong we really are when we choose to be. But if we're not making that choice, and we don't know how to make that choice, we're not going to be able to take that journey.
Yes. I heard everything you said, and what it makes me think about is when you are in a place where you feel like you want to lash out because of the pain,
Mm-hmm.
because of the hurt, because of all of the past, and you are willing to do something so dramatic, whether it's hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. In those desperate acts, it's like you taking poison
Mm,
and expecting everybody else to die
yeah, yeah.
instead of understanding that life doesn't happen to you,
Mm-hmm.
life happens for you. You just need to understand how you need to take on what it is that has been given to you. You see it, you deal with one little sentence or word or page at a time, and you map it out and you understand at the end of the day, life really is how you choose
Mm,
to look at it. You can choose to look at it in a poor, oh, woe is me.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are very comfortable there.
Yes,
And that's where they want
attention
to
seeking.
stay because they get all of the people from the outside giving them the dopamine hits
Mm-hmm.
that they need. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened. I can't believe it. You didn't deserve this. You have so much more. You know, I'm so sorry. And all of the people pouring into you all of the stuff that you desperately want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And so you stay there because people are giving you
Yeah.
those dopamine hits. And that's exactly what it is. And so the moment that you start to thrive
Mm,
and do better, people are no longer giving you those dopamine hits. Yours and so you go, oh, and so again, your brain, it's going to protect you. It's going to protect you and it's going to pull you back down,
yes.
and you're and something else is going to happen because your subconscious mind sitting in your limbic system is going to make sure that you stay alive and you
Mm-hmm.
keep those dopamine hits coming. And so something else is going to happen. They're going to get into another domestic violent relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're going to be victimized again. They're going to have something happen. Somebody, you know, did something to them, or, their car broke down, or their next door neighbor punched a hole in the wall, or there's going to be something else, and it's always going to perpetuate, and it's going to continue that cycle. And it's no different for the domestic violent person as it is from somebody living in a perpetuating negative,
Hmm.
sad, oh, woe is me life
Yeah.
because they're getting
Yeah.
those hits. It doesn't matter what spectrum you're on,
Yeah.
it's all the same at the end of the day. Trauma is trauma.
And one thing I've learned about trauma is that you can work your way through it. You can become stronger. You can find your courage and your empowerment and go to self. There will be scars. You don't get rid of trauma in the sense that
Mm-mm.
the evidence of what happened to you, you don't ignore it. La, 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 it didn't happen to me. No, no. The scars are there. Even the sensitivity of, caution and trust and all of that is still there. But what it is that you are protecting yourself not by abstaining from life, but by choosing life in a smaller circle of ones that you trust and living in a state of love, inviting love. Smaller circle, as most people do. And you learn to read people differently. What is the agenda? Because instead of hearing the words, it is, what am I vibrationally feeling from this person? Are the words, oh, da, 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 I like you, ba, 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 ba. And what is the vibration you're feeling? You learn to trust your instincts a lot more, and you're not governed just by that head of old programming and they're saying the right things, or, you become more discerning. And in that discernment, you're valuing and honoring yourself more. That's why you have a smaller circle, because you rather have a smaller circle of people that are being that clutch word authentic and truth with you, rather than the facade out there of saying all the right things, even appear to be doing all the right things. But vibrationally, this energy isn't feeling the same way. Trust those instincts, trust your energy, trust your senses. Listen to them. They have an intelligence and intellect of their own. Don't just keep going back to the head, because remember, the head is still full of garbage. And we're bombarded with it every day. Trust those instincts, please.
Absolutely. 100% trust your instincts. Had I trusted my instincts, I would not have been kidnapped.
Exactly.
100% would not have been kidnapped. I talked myself out of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, you're being crazy in your head,
Yeah.
you gaslight your damn self." I mean, you do.
Hmm.
You're like, "Oh, you can't." Blah. But it's true, and particularly women. Not to say that men don't have instincts; they absolutely do. It it's just a little bit different than women. Women's instincts are always spot on,
Yeah.
always. If you really listen to it, and I do things sometimes. I'll be like in bed, ready to go to sleep. And all of a sudden I'll go, oh gosh, I don't know if I locked the back door.
Yeah.
And in the past, I may have been like, oh, don't be silly. Of course you locked the back door. Or I live in the middle of nowhere. Who cares if my back
Yeah.
door is unlocked? Type of thing. And now I don't do that. I instantly get up
Yeah. Yeah.
and go check. And almost always that back door was unlocked. And
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's not. But then I go to bed and I'm able to go to bed and I'm able to not then project that worry or
Because that worry
have
will keep you
dreams
awake
all night.
anyway. Exactly. It's going to
Yeah,
keep you awake anyway.
exactly.
You may as well just go and get up and confirm. Is it or isn't it? Right? And,
Hmm.
it's like our instincts are telling something. Even if the door was locked, you've got peace of mind now, right?
Yeah.
Instead of lying there going, did I, didn't I, did I, didn't I? And, half the night's gone because you did I, didn't I?
There's a great book. It's called Healthy Fear, I think is
Mm,
what it's called. I think that's what it's called. I'll have to verify, but it's called Healthy Fear. And in this book, it gives you things to be fearful of
yes.
to protect you.
Yeah.
So, like, don't hitchhike.
Uh-huh.
Be a little fearful of hitchhiking because that can get you kidnapped.
Yes.
Okay. Guilty.
Hmm.
Um, it teaches you like things like don't walk down a dark alley at
Right.
night
Haven't you seen the movies?
in the city,
Yeah.
right? It teaches you how to prepare for, like when I drive across a bridge, I go through the motions of if this bridge were to collapse and I'm in the water, the first thing I'm going to do is take my seatbelt off.
Yes.
And then I'm going to roll the window up, and then I'm going to wait until the cars can be completely submerged unless I can get out the window. I'm going to unlock my kid. I'm going to,
Yeah.
you go through the exact steps of what exactly you're going to do so that when it happens, if it ever happens, you'll be prepared.
Automatic. Hmm.
And then you don't worry
Right.
about the
What would
bridge
I do?
collapsing
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
prepared for the bridge to collapse. If it were to collapse, you're like,
Hmm.
I'm not worried about that at all.
Mm.
I know
So,
what to do. I know the steps. It's really kind of cool to be able to take the worry out
hmm.
of things that you do not have control over.
Off.
Period. Yep.
It's the same like if you're on a plane, they show you all the exits, what to do in case of, right? And that's the
Mm-hmm.
in case of. I call it the common sense sphere. And I ask common sense sphere to travel with me. We don't put your hand in the fire, don't walk in front of a bus, listen to those curlies on the back of your neck. Common sense sphere is there to protect us. But the fear of the unknown I've taken away
Right.
and changed into excitement of wonderment. What is in store for me? Where am I going? Come on, common sense sphere. Let's go down this road and explore because we've stopped our exploration of life through being fearful of the unknown. Well, we wouldn't be where we are today as a human species if everybody was fearful of the unknown. We would have crippled ourselves, never done anything, never achieved anything, right? We would have died out as a species. We've got to break through that fear and change it to wonderment, excitement, but have
Mm-hmm.
your senses, your common sense sphere active. Be prepared. In your backpack is all the skills and tools that you have that you can draw out at any time that you need. Right? That's the point of it. So I feel that so many people are so scared to walk forward because they're crippled by the unknown. Change the way you look at it. Common sense and fear and I going down this path together. It's here to protect me because I'm going to pay attention to it, but I'm also going to be open and willing to accept all the wonderful possibilities that are down this road.
Yeah, I mean, do you want your backpack full of swords and ammunition and knives and all of those things to protect yourself? Do you want all of that stuff? Because that's honestly, that's what I want. I want all that stuff in my backpack to protect myself, right? Figuratively speaking.
Yes.
Or do you want your backpack full of rocks that weigh you down, that are
Mhm.
heavy, that you can't control? All of the things that come into your life that you just throw in a backpack. Well, I can't do,
Yeah.
I can't, you know, I'm going to worry about this. I'm going to
Yeah.
worry about that.
Oh, that will never happen. Or I could never do that. Yeah, I know.
I'm
Yeah.
going to hold all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I say, if you're going to carry a backpack, carry it full of the tools that are going to help propel you
Yes.
forward and
Yes.
keep you from the worry.
Yeah.
Otherwise, take the damn backpack off and throw it down and leave it behind.
Yeah.
It is not helping you,
No,
it's weighing you down.
exactly. Backpack of wisdom, right? Backpack of wisdom. That's what you want to take with you because if you are tuned into your wisdom, it will show you the knowledge you need in that moment and what to do because the wisdom has got it there. So let's travel
Mhm.
with the backpack of wisdom. I guarantee it will be there when you need it, right? But this is what I was talking about earlier. The lighten up.
Yes.
We carry the weight of
Ah,
everything, like why am I so weighed down? Well, look at the coat of memories that you're clinging on to. Take that coat of memories off. Keep only the memories that bring a smile to you, all that are there to protect you. But all the memories that hurt you all the memories that crippled you, all the memories that made you feel less than, leave them behind because they're not here serving you anymore. Time to reset, reevaluate, redirect.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like you can have them if they serve a purpose.
Yes, only.
If they are going to keep you from doing the same thing that has proven time and time
Yeah,
again
but do it
that
without
it is
emotion,
not
right?
helping,
Yeah, without the
then
emotion to
keep
do with
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If it
You know, that
gives you that
memory,
lesson.
yeah, because that memory is going to say, oh, remember how last time? Don't do that. But what we mustn't get is the emotion around that memory. You know, I've interviewed people like yourself who have had horrific things happen to them. And you listen to it and you go, how are you even standing? But they made a choice to be able to talk about what happened to them and what they did in order to thrive today and be that beacon of hope for other people by looking at the emotion and say, I'm not going to be emotional over this. It is what's happened, fact. What am I going to do next?
Mhm.
So I think it's okay to look at past memories if we can look at it and talk about it without the emotion coming up, negative
Yes.
emotion.
Yes. If you can separate those two, and I
Yeah.
think you can, anybody
Mm,
can. It's just choosing to be able to see that very strong line. It's not even a thin line. It's a
mm,
very thick, strong line. And you stay, you stay in that side where everything that you choose to do maintains that side of the line
mm,
that you want to be on, right? The side that's going to keep propelling you forward instead of keeping you in the cycle of
yeah.
whatever it is that you don't want to be in.
Those kind of emotions suck you dry. They're piranhas. They'll cripple you. They'll just weigh you down. And it's being able to look at it. You know, I always say that at some point in our journey, we kind of get to that crossroads, and sometimes we kind of feel stuck. Oh, I'm stuck. I don't know where to go. And I think that's just a pause. What it wants you to do is
Mhm.
turn around and look at how far you've come, what you've left behind. Look at who you are now. This is reflection time. You are so much stronger. You're so much more empowered. You are so much more who you are meant to be. Now you know which road to take. Do not be afraid of the pause because that reflection time really just shows you how really awesomely flawsome you really are.
And we all have it,
Yes.
all of us. I mean, just about a week or two ago, I went through that whole pause. I was like,
Mm.
oh, I was in that little bit of a craptastic
Yeah.
feeling, and you know
I
had
like that
the
word.
meltdown. Yeah,
It's
craptastic.
good. It's a good
had
word.
that had that meltdown,
Yeah.
and and I mean, I don't cry very often, and I was crying
Mm.
over and over. I mean, it happens to all of us.
Yes.
I am not
No.
pain free.
No.
I am not, somebody who never has a shitstorm.
Hmm.
It's unrealistic to believe
Yeah.
that once you've healed from a trauma, that that you can't go back into things.
Mm.
And what it is recognizing when it is and being able to get over it faster, being
Yeah.
able
Yeah.
to take it and go, okay, you have the tools, you know what to do.
Hmm.
When you get through with yourself feeling bad,
Hmm.
then you work on it and you do the tools, you go through the motions, you get back on track, and you wake up
Yeah.
and you do it again, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, oftentimes people think that when you've come so far
Hmm.
in a journey, that you no longer have any more
Oh
problems.
my
That
God,
they all
everything
go,
is
they're like just
wonderful. Yeah.
poof, 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 like it's all rainbows
Yes.
and butterflies.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sunshine, no.
You know,
That's such a false
I know.
thought. It's like, okay, I too can go through my crap. I
Yes.
too have, stuff I got to deal with my family and my husband and
Mm.
myself and my business. And sometimes it all comes crashing
Yeah.
down and you're like, what the heck? And which is why it took me so long to give you all this stuff. Stuff is going on. It's like,
Yes.
oh my goodness. And it's it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It is. It's,
It's
the thing is like you talked about, the swords and everything in your backpack. It's like the warrior, it's,
okay.
it can go to, it's a different battle, right? But you've
Mm-hmm.
faced battles before. This might be a slightly different battle, but it's okay. You're seasoned. You know which weapon to use or which tool to
Mm-hmm.
use in this next war of confrontation and how to get through it or how to
Mm-hmm.
avoid the war altogether. And that's the thing, that's the wisdom that you gather on that journey of my head is going back into old knowledge and bringing up old things. Wow, wow, wow is me. I feel sorry for me. It's okay. Have a good cry. Feel sorry for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Give yourself a hug. Pat, pat, pat. Now get to work. And the get to work is
Mm-hmm.
let wisdom show you, okay, what are you meant to learn from this at the present moment? Right? That
Yeah.
is it
Mm-hmm.
just another cellular detoxification that you need? Is it that you're overloaded at the moment? I know what, when I start to feel like that, little rabbit hole opening up, and for me, it's depression. It's, okay, sorry, you've taken on too much. You're overloaded right now. You're trying to balance everything and you're dropping the ball. So put down a few balls and stop overloading yourself because that rabbit hole is going to get bigger if you don't. And it's in the past, we would have gone down the rabbit hole. Now we know how to look at that rabbit hole and go, okay, no, what do I need to do to take care of me so I am able to take care of business?
Yeah. I mean, when you're in that warrior mode and you have the tools
Hmm.
in your backpack, and you know what tools to use for what, whether it's, hand to hand combat or long range, or whether or not it's running from the enemy.
Yeah.
You have that knowledge and that
Yes.
wisdom to be able to pull out what the proper tool is
Hmm.
to be able to get through the war in your own mind a hell of a lot faster.
Exactly. And not become another victim. Been there, done
Yeah.
that, not going back. Right? So,
Don't perpetuate the war.
no, exactly. We want the war to come to an end or even have a peaceful solution so we don't have to go to war. But whereas the past, we may have gone down that path because that's all we knew. We know better now, right? So take the deep breath, pause. What is really the problem in front of me? What tool do I really need in order to resolve it? Is it a machete or is it some kind words? You'll
Yeah.
know at the
And
time.
don't make decisions when you're in
No.
the rabbit hole.
Oh,
Don't
no.
make decisions when
No.
you're in the pity party mode.
No.
Don't make decisions when you're mad as hell. Don't
Mhm.
make decisions when you're depressed. Don't make
No.
decisions unless it's okay, what are we having for dinner? Decision. Easy, right? Don't make life altering, I'm ready to
Yeah.
file for divorce
Yes.
type of decisions.
Yeah.
Those decisions need to be made when you are completely focused and free from all the other
Yeah.
outside crap, and
And you can
things are
see things
good.
clearly. And you can see things
You're,
clearly. Mhm.
yep. And you're able to then make those really important decisions. Don't hire a coach
Mm.
when you're in that crazy mode. You'll hire the wrong one.
Yeah.
Hire somebody when you're able to be very clear and you can feel.
Yes,
who
thank
you
you.
truly
Yes,
connect with,
yes.
because it is so important that you find somebody that wants for you
Mm,
and doesn't care about what they're getting from it.
exactly. Magic word you said there was feel. And this is the reason why I do these podcasts. Somebody listening today is going to feel what you have said, resonate with what you have said. They're going to feel that you have spoken to them. So that is already the invitation. The inspiration is the invitation. So when they do open that door to connect with you, they've already felt your reason, your earnest, your relatability. And that's the importance. It's not what's on paper, not how flashy the website is, not how many six figures they're making. Do you feel this person? Vibrationally, are you on the same wavelength? Because then that person can truly serve you. But if it's not coming from the heart, because I get asked all the time, who do you interview? And I go, all those that come from the heart. Because when you're coming from the heart, you're really doing it for the right reason. You're doing it to help people on their journey, on their struggle, because you know what it's like. So there's the relatability. May not be the same journey, but hell, pain is pain. And understanding
Well,
what pain
yeah,
is, right?
and let's be honest. I'm getting something out of it too.
Yes.
Because when I help somebody, as you said, and I like to teach people, I
Mhm.
for me, giving people the tools to teach them how to do things for themselves instead of just simply helping them. I give them the tools so that
Yes.
they can do it for themselves. I'm getting my dopamine
Yes.
hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting, all of the serotonin and
Mm.
the cortisol, not cortisol, you know the words I'm
The whole thing, yeah,
oxytocin and endorphins,
it's
all
the
those happy stuff.
exchange of good
Yes.
vibrations. And that's what it's meant to
Yes.
be. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
be fed in order to feed, right? So when you are helping someone and you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing how they apply it and making a difference in their life, it's feeding you. Otherwise, why would you do this?
Yeah,
Right? It's not just
exactly.
about the money or the fame or the this or that. It's about
Mm-hmm.
how do we feel doing it? And when you know that you've helped someone, and that person is now on track, they've redirected, they've reset that mind, and they're walking that path. It is so gratifying. It is so soul and heart and spirit feeding. And that's the kind of enrichment and abundance that we really, truly should embrace. Money has its place, it's a tool, but the enrichment and the abundance of knowing that my wisdom, my energy help propel someone else forward. If every single one of them took this nectar, imagine what kind of world we'll be in.
Mm-hmm. Well, money has its own vibration,
Yeah. And it's all a question of how we
and
use it and what intent.
it's money is just it helps us get from where we are
Hmm.
to extension that.
Yes.
So money will always do good
Yeah.
for a good person,
Yes.
and money will always do bad for a bad person.
Yeah.
And so money in and of itself is another form of vibration.
Hmm.
And so when you exchange currency,
Hmm.
you're literally exchanging the vibration as it sets anyhow. And so it just helps to continue when you receive um, something even like money.
Hmm.
You're then able to then now I can go out and I can buy, you know, I don't bottle of oil and help somebody else, right?
Yes, but more importantly, help yourself so you can help someone else
Mhm.
because we need to replenish ourselves. You know,
Mhm.
I'm sure you've been this way. I've certainly been this way. Give, give, give until depleted. That doesn't help anyone.
Yes.
We've got to learn to fortify ourselves because the more abundant we are, the more our cup runneth over. But if we're constantly, spilling over and not fortifying, we're going to be depleted. right? So even your little breakdown the other day was probably saying, time to refill your own cup.
I've had enough.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
was so cute. My 27-year-old daughter is like, Mom, you can't help other people unless you help yourself. You need to take
exactly.
care of yourself. Go get,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
some pampering done or something. And I'm like,
yes,
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah, yeah. And if when we're people that really do, our nectar is seeing someone step into their own light, helping other people. That really is our nectar. Um, and it's not like I did it. It's just that somebody else now is standing tall in their own life, has stood up in their own life. It's just so exuberant because the more we do that as a human race, the better the world will be. So each and every one of us standing up is going to be a part of the solution to the world problems. And just knowing that in whatever way, we're helping people on that way, that's your meaningful purpose. And we should take pride in our meaningful purpose. Our self-discovery of our wisdom and what our purpose is our journey in life. And when we find it, and it becomes a part of you that you share in such a beautiful, honest way, honest and loving, that is what fortifies and gives people their own strength and courage to walk forward. Back to inspiration begins invitation.
Yeah,
Having
I'll
said
tell you
that,
right now. Yeah.
no,
I
go ahead.
never in a I never in a million years wanted to do what I'm doing. If you
Yeah,
would have asked me 3 years ago, would you want to be a trauma recovery coach and talk to women and help them through, sexual trauma? I'd been like, oh hell no.
no.
I do not want to do that. Why do I want to put myself through that?
Yeah,
No, I don't want to do that. And then Julie died.
yes.
And it was like, oh, I had always felt that there was something missing,
Mm,
that there was something more that I was supposed to be doing. I just didn't know what it was. And then Julie's death was that crazy wake up call. And it was just like, girl, and I'll tell you, when I came to the realization of what I needed to be doing, I was so mad. I was pounding my desk and I was going, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this, because I knew that that meant that I would have to share with the world
mm,
why
yeah.
I'm doing it, and literally put myself in front of everybody to have what you said at the very beginning. What did you do?
Mm,
Because there were some people that knew it happened to me that didn't believe that
yeah.
I didn't encourage it or want it
Nobody
or
encourages rape and kidnapping. That is, we may lay ourselves victim into
mm,
unwillingly putting ourselves in danger, but nobody gives permission for that. I'm sorry. But the greatest gift that you're sharing of yourself, which is the greatest and most privileged gift that we can receive, is your vulnerability. And your vulnerability to speak as to what home, to take ownership, no blame, no shame, no guilt. That's all gone. But to own it. Had I known differently, I wouldn't have gone hitchhiking. I lived in South Africa for years. Transport was absolutely lousy. I used to hitchhike all the time. And I remember a car pulling up and saying to me, get in the car right now. And it was like whiny. And I saw a cop car over there. And he said, get into the car right now. There was something about what he said, the urgency that I did. He said, those cops behind you would have arrested you for hitchhiking, but first they would have raped you. And then you would have thrown you into jail for prostitution.
mm,
Right. And it's like I didn't know that kind of danger. We're unaware of the danger of most of the time. I mean, look, if we look back on our past and you think about it, how many times we've put ourselves in danger? We didn't know better. We didn't know it was dangerous. So why are we beating ourselves up for making decisions on knowledge we didn't know?
mm.
So owning it, and going, yeah, that was a silly thing to do. This is what happened because of it. You didn't invite the rape. You didn't invite the kidnapping. That
Hmm.
onus is entirely on him. Did you put yourself in a
Hmm.
position of vulnerability? Yes. That was
Hmm.
purely ignorance, youthful ignorance. We are all ignorant of things. That's what life wisdom is about, gaining the knowledge of what to do, of what not to do. And very often, what not to do is a cosmic two by four. I gave you the nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You didn't pay attention.
Hmm.
Whackaroo. Now you're going to have to go through this experience. But the whole thing is going through the experience. You've fought your way of not wanting to do what you're doing today, but you're more than qualified to do what you're doing because of the journey that you've taken, because of the reasons of why you're doing it, and because of the people that will relate to you, because you understand the pain, they understand, you understand the pain. And how do I reset and move on? And that is an enormous purpose.
Woo!
Having said that, how do people reach you? What are you offering them? What is the program?
Many ways you can reach me. I am available on my cell phone. You can text me. Um, but it would probably be easiest to reach me on email. And you can simply type in Holly at amboh.net, amboh.net, or Holly at reset-it.ca. Either one work. Um, and I have a website. I have a couple websites.
Mm.
One for the Reset program that I am a part of. That I'm one of their specialists, and one is my website dedicated for my trauma coaching that has connections to the Reset It as well. So,
And of
few
course,
ways.
you're on Facebook and you're on Instagram. So
Yep.
Ambo dashes lowercase essentials and Ambo Ambo essentials here. So there's many ways that people can reach out to you and just start the conversation, because I know that one of the hard things to do is owning up to the fact that you were victimized. So many people keep it to themselves. And it's like, but I
Mm-hmm.
must have asked for it. I can't ask, it was all my fault. So I can't ask for this help. Nobody asked to be victimized. You may have placed yourself in a precarious position, but you did not give permission to someone and say, victimize me. That was them.
Right.
They have to own that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's how do we recognize that? How do we heal? How do we reset? And how do we move on? And some of us can do it on our own, but it's long and arduous. And some people need the tools, the support. You're the mentor, you're the cheerleader, and you have the tools that they can, as you said, apply. This isn't, I'm going to fix you, go in and sew you up and stitch you up and band-aid you. These are the tools for you to apply to yourself, because only when they apply it to themselves do they truly understand the strength and how they're going to use it in other things in life. Because we don't just go through one trauma in life, folks. There's going to be a few along the way. But what we do is we look at it, go through the motions initially, and they go, okay, that's enough. How do I move on from this? And if you've got the tools, then you know how to move on from it. And that's the importance.
Yeah. I mean, schedule a 30-minute call
Mm,
and we'll just chat and see if it's something that sounds like it's going to be beneficial for you.
yeah,
And
exactly.
chats are free. Why
Chats
not?
are, chats are free. And,
Mhm.
you know, because you've been through what you've been through, somebody else that's gone through something similar, even just like the rape, it's you understand. For somebody else who hasn't gone through that, it's very hard to understand. You can empathize, you can have compassion, but to truly understand the violation of trust, the violation of somebody taking you against your will. And this could be rape of body, rape of mind, heart and soul. There's different types of form of rape, but the rape that you're talking about is sexual. And having somebody that truly understands is really a beautiful way of somebody and to start their healing. So please make that call. Please reach out. Start the conversation. You don't know if you're a fit or not until you apply. Now, remember, my motto is listen, learn, and apply. There is always something in these podcasts that you've listened to, that you've learned, that you now can apply. And if it's picking up that phone, if it's going to her site, if it's taking this journey, one step at a time, the biggest leap you'll take is the first step. And if you know somebody that has gone through this, that doesn't want to talk about it, simply send them this podcast. Ask them to listen to it. That's all. That's all you can do. And then it's up to them, their free will, of whether they want to reach out. But very often people don't reach out because they don't know where to reach out. So whether you are reluctant in your purpose or not, you were chosen for it. And I know that you do it beautifully well. And there's going to be many, many people. They're going to find their journey of healing because of you. So thank you reluctantly for taking this journey.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
To everyone out there, remember, victimization happens to all of us in some form or other. The worst thing you can do is beat yourself up. Learn from it. Don't do that again. Be more aware, but care for yourself, because the last thing you want to do is persecute and prosecute yourself. You were a victim, but you don't have to stay there. So until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.